All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Wednesday Bookmap stream. Appreciate you taking the time out of your morning to join us after dealing with a very, very strong uptrend that is not going to cease yet, and we're still going up, 18,234. All we did just now is, one second, let me get that up. All right, what's up, Bookmap? How's it? Welcome. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join the stream. And we are dealing with a very strong uptrend this morning, which doesn't seem to be failing just yet. Right now, we're absorbing the morning high from yesterday. So this is a good amount of pivots right here. Not only the morning high, but all of the consolidation that we experienced all late morning, early afternoon yesterday's session. And we're dealing with that inventory currently. And yeah, the YouTube should be good to go here. Let me make sure I get that link for you. There it is. There's the YouTube link as well if you want to join that. And Bookmap is now on Discord as well. So 18,226 right here, top wicking off of it. We've got all this liquidity here and up to 18,250. With a little bit of red. CVD is green by 1100, and they flipped over from about 2,000 negative this morning. So a lot of flow here as well. What's up, YouTube? How's it going? Good morning. So my thought process is today is once we hold this upper level and we bottom wick on the daily chart, I would expect higher prices into the end of the week, especially if we clear out SPX at 5,200. So, but right now we're dealing with 218. Let me just take a look right here. Trading ticks, options. Looking at the options data right now to see how it adjusts. It was at 5,200, shifted upwards on SPX. That's for zeros. Right now it's still call buying. And it currently is 5,200, yep. With a 5,800 base. I did agnostic, yeah. In fact, let me go look at what he says. Let's take a look. In fact, I got to respond to him too. So the way he's talking about the liquidity there is that, especially in a thin book, which is typically is after the market closes like that, is that what happens is that you'll get that price fill and you basically have all that participation sitting in one area, and the price will tend to retreat back to that area. That's what he's talking about there. So that's why they usually happen right before the settlement closes, because one, it's very thin. They fill all the open existing orders that are sitting there, and then the price adjusts and reverts back to it in the following price action, the following session. So that's basically what we were looking for there. Good morning. Just joined the Discord channel. I'm barely new to the trade option community. I recommend to start your channel. Nice. What's up? Thanks for appreciate you hanging out and joining. For me, I would start off in the YouTube channel is great as well, looking at all my posted videos. If you're in the Discord as well, I would recommend you follow the streams and ask questions. That's the biggest value to me as the community, is being able to ask one-on-one questions, whether it be to myself or other members in the community. You can shoot me a DM if you got any additional questions that need to be clarified. And of course, going through the content, looking at the trades that I posted and the wheres and whys and the times, looking at any other content. You know, I've got, of course, if you're an options trader, you can use the Trading Ticks bot, which I offer for free, in terms of options chain analysis. But the basic educational stuff is all the stuff I posted on YouTube. Bottom like 18,213. Apple's still going higher. VIX is not moving. And we're still defending this overarching level. This whole base right here between 18,200, which is about 18,220 down to 170, plus or minus, and we're pinning right in the middle of 200. That's the whole overnight base. We based there yesterday afternoon. We based there the entire pre-market with the exception of the late break and now the pop back up. So this is what we're dealing with here. And as long as we hold it, we'll be looking for reclaiming about 270 on NASDAQ. And on ES, above 52.12, which is a current imbalance, which we rejected, we'll be looking at about 52.30. And that's really what I'm playing to here. $52.10 down to 200. Nvidia is coming off just a touch. Does that make sense? Why would there be thousands of orders that we can't see down to the tick? Maybe I'm not understanding the explanation of that, but that didn't answer anything that I understand. Does that make sense to you? I see your point. To see that many orders fill and not move the spot there at the settlement. The only thing I can make sense of based on his explanation, the fact that it's right before settlement and there's so low participation there that it's not going to chase the book. So basically what they're doing is that they're paying and they're getting a bad fill. They're paying a premium based on the fact that they can't manipulate the book down into their spot. So they're just going to pay whatever's existing open orders there and they get filled. And then when the next session opens, we get the transition back to those levels in order to fill the inventory at those levels. That's my interpretation, whether or not that's accurate or not. Apple's going up and Nvidia's going down, typical inversing fashion. You're welcome. You're welcome. 52.11 ES, NASDAQ. 18.203. Still going down here. I swear, if I close my short call at the highest price of the day, I'm going to lose my mind. So the dealer's filling the orders out there of the inventory. To me, oh man. So looking at that, the fact that it's right before settlement there, in my interpretation, is that they're filling the order book there just to mark their position for the following. So whatever's open inventory is there, they're going to fill. And then that's why the next day they're going to have that volume, the oomph, and the time to revert back to those prices. So that's one of the reasons I track them, is so I can, one, figure out where this thing is going to try to track the next day, and then if we bounce where we're going to go back to it. Now the hows and whys, I guess we could speculate that I'm not sure. But watching those orders fill and then we get that follow-on movement the following session is the more applicable to me. But yeah, it usually happens 2 to 5 minutes maybe before settlement. $18,200 back down. 40-point sell-off on NASDAQ, right back off of that little consolidation area. Nice little move. CVD is still green. CN indeed. But here on the book, we've got this 195 liquidity, which looks like it's going to be tested. Got a little more selling pressure coming in, taking some profit from the first 2 hours of rallying. CVD is still holding green, but more importantly, the CVD is down, trading on NASDAQ from 500. You see it continue to drop down, a little bit more sell there, and pressing into the 190s now. ES is coming off here as well from 52.17. So if as long as we stay above this area right here, I'm still looking for this bottom wick. And then from that, I'm going to look for liquidity to come on and off the books to see how they're going to manage this stuff. Nvidia is now down 0.25. Still going down here. Apple is going up, Nvidia is down. Microsoft is still blasting 411, not coming off, and Dow is up as well. Little rotation from the Dow there. Bond still holding. VIX hasn't barely moved a tick in an hour. NASDAQ is coming off hard. 18,196. There, right there. Beautiful rejection there. Saw Kia sold for sale at $22,000. All right, so we are approaching a 50-point sell-off on NASDAQ off of the yesterday morning's high, almost perfectly to the tick. ES is doing the same here. They're down about 7 points. Massive bottom wick on Nvidia. Nvidia just dumped all the way to new lows of the day and then bottom wicked it. That's crazy. What was that? I'm sure that scared some people. That was a 7-point bottom wick on NASDAQ or Nvidia. Interesting. That's on the 5-minute chart too. So when Wendy's is left with extra burgers, you take them home. Not too many because they usually use the extra burgers to make chili. But I get to take a few home. They're delicious. I was looking at buying a new Tacoma and they saw that it's expensive for one of my BMW. Yep, it's nuts. 18,195 still dropping. Nvidia going back up after that bottom wick. Favorite burger place. Fast food is probably going to be In-N-Out Burger. Love it. Maybe it's because I don't get to eat it often because I, don't live near one, but I love it. Non-fast food, my kitchen. I make the best burger ever. It's fantastic. 52.25 liquidity up top. Nothing else on NASDAQ except this 18,250. They've got this 262 down here, but still trailing off. 18,192. I may lose my resolve if I have closed out my short call at the highest price of the day. I'm not going to be happy. It drives me nuts. If you go to In-N-Out, ask for extra burger sauce and squeeze that biz in the burger. Yeah. I'll have to do that next time. $192. Complementing my longs with short puts, keeping the daily performance neat and green. I love it. Still selling here. Dropping. Starting to pick up steam here. This is coming up on about 60 points or so. 190. 902.19. $18,191.87. Dropping back off. Maybe I'm too white. Most sauces are overrated. I'm a sauce guy. I like sauces. One second. Gotta mute. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, coming back off here. Now NASDAQ's down to 182 and selling aggressively here. We've done about half of that move already. Starting to become pretty robust. Dropping back over. 185. Looking they want to go for about 160. Beautiful move. And dropping. So far, what? It's about a 60-point move. And going down, we got 160 below here. They are shifting liquidity down. CVD has gone from +5 to -5, almost 600. Very aggressive reversal there. ES putting on 52.25 and dropping back over. 180. 170 coming off again. very aggressive. 50% is going to be roughly about 155 or so, which is where we based prior. Nvidia cleared out that liquidity down to 195. So if Nvidia falls through 895 again, it's going to be a lot easier because they already smoked that liquidity. Most sauces are just too sweet or fatty. I don't know. As long as they're fresh made sauces. I hate that soybean oil taste. Like if you go buy a bottle of like ranch dressing at the grocery store, it tastes like soybean oil. Hate it. I could taste it. It's terrible. So fresh made stuff. All right, so you see them shifting this stuff. We've got 52.25, and they're shifting on down a little bit to 195, adding down here after this little move. $18,183. Apple's going straight up. Nvidia is down. Love to see that inverse still, and bonds are still hanging 90. $52.25. Very interesting if they break this level. Things get spicy. Well-prepared food doesn't need sauce, but some sauce. Yeah, but what do you, I mean, I guess most of the time I would say you're correct, Logan, but what about like putting my ketchup on my filet? Like who doesn't like ketchup on a filet mignon though? I would never do that. All right, 52.08 here. We got some bottom wicks. I'm keeping a close side eye, lobster eyeing the Nvidia chart here because of that little anomaly we got, and we'll see how we're going to do here. Nasdaq has this little consolidation at 162. You see them shifting a touch down in this area to 165. This guy rolled from 160 to 165, but we're already defending this area, which is great. We don't want to get too out of control here. $185 or so. Yesterday morning's high. Beautiful level. Adding a little bit more liquidity here. You see 170 down to 165. We're putting on a touch more red here. And we'll see if we can get that, wipe that 165. Beyond 165, now we're looking at possibility of revisiting lows of the day because that is the structure of the market, the mid structure here. So I'm not seeing them add anything else more lower beyond this, but a tap there will provide some chances for retesting. 177. Nvidia is transacting lower in the 18898. Double bottom wick Nasdaq to 182. Negative 830 CVD. ES has down to 5204 here, negative 3000 CVD. No major icebergs to speak of at the moment, so nothing really to keep an eye on in terms of icebergs. But Nvidia continues to go lower, and Apple is absolutely rallying at the moment, which is hilarious to see. Still a huge anomaly. $52.08. Just a touch here. 165. Nvidia is coming off still. There goes Apple on down. You see another red bubble here, and we'll see if we can attack the 165 and then absorb. Other than that, we're just bottom wicking at the moment. We are just bottom wicking at the moment. Some decent movement today. Hanging on right here. Range day on Nvidia? So far, yeah. 186. Doing a beautiful job of defending this liquidity. Right here. Ooh, adding more down to 160. Adding more. Put us into 165. What time is it? 11:23, so we're approaching the midday time frame, 7 minutes till euro. You see them adding a little bit lower, so they're adding some skew lower there. I'll be curious if they grab that. Still nothing but red on the 5-minute for the past 30 minutes. Who has the best fries? And why are Five Guys prices jacked up? Five Guys has always been very expensive. And inflation obviously boosted them to the stratosphere. All right, Gex is... Just tried to have it grilled the other day. McDonald's has had the best fries. Fast food. So I'm still looking for 165 at the moment for that liquidity. I'm actually not a fan of Five Guys fries, though. You know, they're all soggy. They don't cook yes, they are fresh, but they don't cook them right. In my opinion. Is them adding liquidity lower? Do you mean it's going down or that they're buying to go up? Well, I'm trying to track managed liquidity, and you see them add 165. In fact, then they're spoofing this guy right here, 170. So I would look for them to try to attack this 165 and then base. I don't think they'll go beyond this 165 area. Come down, breach it, little absorption, bottom wick, and then possibly transact back up. But we'll see. For this to go higher, do you see dropping volume sweep below again? Volume, yeah. So especially on the 5 or 15, 160, 165, that'll be my determination whether or not we are going to trend up or this is just returning to back to the low of the day to trap both sides of the tape. I don't know. But once again, we were defending 5,200 on SPX. That was just under it again. We didn't quite get up there. And then ES was trapping the imbalance there up in the 5,200 to 5,200 area. So if we were to go higher, I'd look for a touch sweep lower, bottom wick on the 15, the follow-on candle to close to make sure that we've cleared, and now we'll go back up. Right now I'm seeing higher highs and higher low prices that are tightening, both on ES and NASDAQ. I'm not seeing too much bullish support at the moment, and I'll be looking for that here at 165. We've got what right here? 182. $0.29 hamburgers. That's what I used to do. Yeah. Monday nights, baby. 25-cent cheeseburgers at McDonald's. It was the McDonald's and Walmart too. Y'all remember that? 182. We've got this iceberg, very, very small, just filled. Don't do it, bro. Holding. T-bill auction in 3 minutes. There you go. Wednesday. I've got the 10-year auction, 10-year bonds at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is 12 years, so hour and a half. And it looks like the volatility is kind of left at the moment. All right, so let's see where that 50 is. Yeah, that's going to be support, 165. Another iceberg coming on. Buyers already buying it back up. Looks like we may not even make it down there. Best fries until you know how it's made. Oh, yeah. Well, now we're back and forth around at 1.8. I'd like to see 165 clear and then bottom wick from there. That'll be a great market support here. But we're right around 190 at the moment. Nothing actionable for me yet. Kind of boring at the moment. You see them doubling down more at 165 and adding a little bit here at 175. And we'll see if this little wedge looky breaks down. We've got 183. Right here. Back and forth. Back and forth. Flow right now is call selling. And actually, Nvidia has switched to put buying at the moment. But not a lot of buying on the indices at the moment. We have 5200 GEX is still there, down to 5165. Market flow is pretty neutral at the moment, so maybe chop session the rest of the day. Nvidia is leading the way on negative put flow at the moment. Bottom wick on NASDAQ again. So that's now 3 bottom wicks on NASDAQ. They're still reclaiming this demand. And watch that 15-minute. And it looks like we quickly drop back inside the February and March low volatility chop crap. Unfortunately, that was quick. 189, bottom wicking going back up, and this should close that 15-minute green. I got no matters liquidity up top here. It's all lower for the most part. In fact, they removed 18214. Pretty light book on NASDAQ. ES has this stuff right here at 215, 220, so they do have all upside liquidity. Right here. When you say they are buying puts, does that represent a bearish or a bullish sentiment? For me, when I'm tracking my options chain flow, I'm tracking to see what the overall sentiment is on the underlying name, what I'm tracking. So for example, right now, Nvidia has switched over. This morning it went from call selling when they spiked, and now it's flipped over to actually active put buying. That's what I'm looking for. And that now indicates bearish sentiment for Nvidia. Now they have retraced, 15 or so points already, which that could already been one of those things self-fulfilling. But we don't know that yet. That's why I don't like to use options data like that as proactive, as predictive, because it's kind of self-fulfilling. Yes, we are going to see put buying when the market is getting smoked, and vice versa. You're welcome. We filled the gap down from this morning. Now it's time to fill back to 50.65. So given Rashke's rules and the pre-market was fairly red with no buying, were you looking to go long right at open? I didn't go long right at open. Once we confirmed that that was in fact going to happen is when I went long. And it's a balancing act. But with Rashke's rule, it's at or around market open. So if they dump at the entire pre-market, they can get out of their positions right there at the open, which creates buying. So that's why, once the first morning activity is complete, I've checked that box of fulfilling the Rashke rule. That's what I look for. Now, that might be a little too arbitrary for some people, which is fine. That's more of an art form. But watching, for example, yesterday, we sold off the last 10 minutes. I was looking for either flat or bearish action into the bell, and we got that, the big sell-off in pre-market. And then for me, too much too fast in pre-market results in the opposite direction when the market opens. And that checks the box, so we had the big red. Now, if it was flat throughout pre-market, I'd be looking for selling at the market open. But obviously, that wasn't the case. VIX ain't moving. 18,185. You're welcome. Man, NASDAQ is in a 5-point range. This is terrible. 10-point range. Still a little pressure here. Just a touch. See if we can get out of this range. Another bottom wick. Looking like accumulation so far. 15 minutes Doge. Where can you find Rashke's rules? I've got them posted in here. I think I got a pin, don't I? She has 12 rules that we follow. They're not necessarily even rules. They're more like observations of the market to cage your bias. Here, I'll get them for you. Price action seems to have stalled for now. Nothing actionable. No point in chasing price action. I haven't reached out to her yet. A little bit more red here. Dropping back off, still holding. That would be interesting to talk to her. It would be, yeah. Could be a bear flag. It does look like a bear flag at the moment. Little higher highs, higher lows, constricting. It just, the momentum of the price action is gone. Middle of the day. Patterns like this tend to break down a lot more frequently in the middle of the day when the volume is gone. All right. There you go. There's her 12 rules. I've listened to some of her interviews. She doesn't have the polish of Anna Colling, but she's definitely knowledgeable in her craft. Oh, yeah. She's definitely knowledgeable. Gotta get that rolling. I want to get Anna Colling herself back out as well. $181. Still no movement. Airbnb has earnings today. What are your thoughts? I don't track it. I have no idea. I'm stuck long on the ES at 52.13, and I don't quite know if I should just get out or hold. All right, let's take a look. 52.13. It's only 4 points up, so you're not talking about anything crazy. If I broke down below 06, I'd probably start, setting stops. I wouldn't let it go beyond 52.06. As long as we held above that area, I think you're fine to just see what happens. But below 52.06, I'd be getting out. That's my personal opinion. That's what I would do. Not to say I'm going to tell you what to do, but that's what I would do. I got stopped out of my 517 SPY call. I'm at 221 stop out, 265. Then I should back in. You're welcome, pal. Well, just kind of like if we hold up here, I'd be looking for even higher here. If we give out this 165 on Nasdaq and about 52.05 or so on ES, that's I'd say we're going to make a test for another morning range low here. But I mean, Apple just got smoked. Look at that candle. Jeez Louise. 182. But yeah, as long as we hold these highs, if we do bottom wick the daily, then I'd be looking to go back up into tomorrow. That's why I was like, all right, well, if we do bottom wick the daily, then I'm looking to swing upward positions at the end of the week. But if we sell this back off, then obviously not. This morning was incredibly bullish, and we are now just kind of hanging out here at the highs, a little bit of reversal. But yeah, liquidity at 165. This is a very, very choppy price action. When Nasdaq can't even move outside of a 5-point move, it's not something you really want to be involved in. Um, so Apple's coming off a little bit. Overarching, the main skew on NASDAQ is here at 165 with a negative CVD. The CVD continues to drop. You see the subchart indicator. Oh man! All right, good. Looks like we found balance for now. Now we need to just wait for the imbalance to create. You're welcome, DJ. Kind of what I was thinking. Beautiful. Let's see if we can break the imbalance and fill this 165 on down. There we go, 176, a little bit more pressure. And bottom wick. See, just not enough volume to get things going just yet. Not enough volume to get things going. Sorry, Gary, I don't answer phone calls on Discord. Maybe just waiting for the 10-year bond auction? Possibly. I'll be watching to see if we have any kind of volatility uptick into the event. That's going to be the second biggest catalyst of the week, so it's possible. We keep trying to shift down to this 175, but you see very, very weak volume. CL, by the way, is rocketing. He's been trying to reach me about my car's extended warranty. It's interesting when people voice call me on Discord. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna answer. Well, should have traded some CL. I think it's going crazy. Still thinking we touched 4,800 for all-time highs. Oh man, no. No. After this bounce, after the we had a decent move, which didn't quite fulfill my overall target to the downside. I am approaching this next few months, 5 months into the election as just play what comes. I'm going to try to just wipe the slate clean and play what comes and just play the swings. Here we go. A little bit of red. Instantly put on 175 and instantly bottom wick. Oh, that's what you think. Oh, there you guys. That was a question mark without the question mark. 175. A little bit more pressure. Instant bottom wick again. You see there's just no follow through. 18,174. So here's that tack on the skew of 165. And this will put us a good base structure of the market. But, I mean, this bottom wick can't even do it. See if they could get there. 174. That'd be about 10 points down NASDAQ. Just a small little play. Negative 1,400. The CVD has been building more and more negative throughout this process. So it went from positive 500, positive 600, and just kind of trickled down. The subchart indicator is more important than the widget. Been trickling down, and now we have a negative 1,400 CVD on NASDAQ. They're adding a little bit more 162, and we'll see if we can reach that 165 right here on down 171. $168, dropping back over into 165. Now watch them come down here. We got this 165. You'll see a little bit of absorption. You'll see a large red bubble, and then blip, and we'll clear it. That was a little bit of a bearish wedge that we failed and went lower. And so far, nothing. Right there on the 165. Bottom wick right off of it. Last 3 market days of the market have been invisible. Yeah, there's been a couple of bright spots, but overall, definitely it's been very choppy. Any thoughts on sell in May and go away? I was anticipating downward trend beginning May, but you know. I think the new adage is, as inflation goes higher, we are buyers. I think that's the new one. Pretty proud of that. Came up with that on the fly. Crickets. 18,170 down to the 165. Still looking for this 165 liquidity. Nice little pressure, and there it is. Cleared out that order right there. Let's give it a little bit more zoom. $168. So instant bottom wick off the 165. Now that stuff I expect off of major liquidity. And if they fail that, we'll wipe out 160. Now overarching on this NASDAQ, let's take a look here. If we do clear out this 160, then and only then will I expect return back to the daily low. Oh my gosh. I am such a jabroni. Fed Colin. The economy is robust. The job market is coming into better balance. Two 4% days in a row. Well, we're not there yet. Not there yet. Bottom wick back up, 178. Back and forth, back and forth. So we cleared the 165. Now, most liquidity is off the books. We have a little bit here at 150, but nothing really to shake a stick at. Overarching, we have 250 up top, and we have a little bit down to 100. But until I start seeing managed liquidity on the books, that fulfills my downside thesis for now. We hit the 165, and then we insta-bounced. We filled that liquidity and bounced. So I'm not putting on my bear hat unless we clear out 160. Other than that, I'd look for reclaim of the high prices. In my personal, humble, non-professional, Wendy's burger flipping opinion. Do I implement any ICT concepts into your trading? I'm on a bookmap stream, so I can't say what I want to say. But no, I don't. No, I don't. Maybe when I come off my psych meds, I'll implement some of his stuff. Have you seen that dude's? Never mind. SPY seems to be holding yesterday's low. Yep. Right here it is. I'm going to pin those rules, by the way. Pin. There we go. 18179. Nice little hold right here. Back and forth chop. After this stream comes to an end here, I'll be it for me today. I learned you have to adapt with what the market's doing here, and we see that the past 2 days, the afternoon sessions are terrible. So when the volatility, you can get away with it when the market is moving like it has been all of end of March and into April. But when the volatility comes out of the market like this, and we start chopping, when Nasdaq chops in a 5 to 10 point range, that is Monos Erebus, baby. Hands off. I don't want to be a part of that. So in the afternoon, when the volatility is this low, I highly encourage you more than ever, do not trade the afternoon. If you want to play some afternoon stuff, maybe put on some very small positioning in power hour. But other than that, absolutely no trading in power hour. That is at least my rule. So I'll be shutting it down here after the stream ends. Volatility is just way too tight. What time is it? 11:53, 7 minutes. All right, back to 179. Nothing going on. What do y'all have for lunch? What's for lunch today? Would you say a smaller or bigger pullback to earning trend is healthier? In a normal market, I mean, it really depends on what you mean by bit smaller or bigger. I love 50% retracements. Now, not on the macro, that would be too much. But on trend up days, I love to pop and then a little pullback and a pop and a little pullback. Whether it be, depending on the time frame, is how long I'd be looking for that pullback. But these days, you don't really get that. Anything more than a small pullback, then it turns into reversals. So we are in a options chain euphoria driven market here, where once we kick off, it just keeps going and going and going and going. So if you sit there waiting for a pullback, anything more than a small little tick, you're just going to be left in the dust. That's the problem. So I personally like a good, strong, healthy pullback, so I can show. I like to think it's like I am so bearish because I'm bullish, because I'd like to see a good, healthy pullback to show strong buyers hit that base and bottom wick on the longer time frame, and then I get a good entry. But when you miss the long and this thing just goes for nonstop, it's aggravating to watch. So I prefer a good, healthy pullback to get into a trend. But it really depends on what you mean by what your definition is. Mac and cheese and Korean BBQ, beautiful. Good combination. No movement. Any final questions here before we wrap it up? The stream ends here in about 3 minutes. This might not be your thing, but I'm thinking putting chili oil on your veggies. Yeah. I love chili oil, and I like some veggies. I'll do it. What's your view for the rest of the day? I don't know. I have no idea. What I will do is look to see how we close. So if we have a massive bottom wick and we close in the upper end of the range, then I would say upper flows for tomorrow. But if we reject and sell all of this back off, then I would say we're probably going to have a little bit more of a pullback. And there's a reason why I'm a little bit neutral on the rest of the week. One, all of the exposure for the options is now majority lower, much lower, which I've kind of written off. But there's definitely a little chance there at the end of the week. Now we haven't really sold off at all. We just had a little pullback from the monstrosity this morning. So if we finished up here, we finished with a bottom wick on the daily, which will set us up for higher prices. It'll set us up for reclaiming that higher liquidity into higher prices. So I'll really judge what I'm going to do Thursday and Friday into the rest of the day here today. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my CCS, and I've closed out the short leg. I've got the long leg left. If this thing blasts, then yay me, I'm good to go. But if we start dropping, then I need to close that out and just wash my hands of the position to be done with it. So I have a little skin in the game here. All right, y'all, that is the hour, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Very boring price action, obviously. The note auction's usually bullish or bearish. Neither. They're just volatile. So I appreciate y'all taking the time to hang out with us. I will see you all next Wednesday for another Bookmap stream. And, of course, the rest of the Discord, I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Please keep an eye here in an hour. We have the 10-year bond auction, which will provide some volatility. And we'll make our judgment going into that. So thanks for hanging out with us. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out. See you.